the best service I've ever had. For me, I used to purchase my wholesale hair overseas and had to wait a little while before I get it because I could get it at a very reasonable price. I was able to find the same prices with Supreme Hair, and I get it within about 4 days every time, no matter how big the order was. I just had a $300 order and it came in 4 days. So, well worth it. Use them, okay? Let's keep it going. Today we're going to discuss Braiders' rights and laws, how to price yourself, protection for you and your clients, which is basically tax structuring and insurance, business credit, dominating social media, and our hair braiding demo, which I'll be showing you how to tuck the knotless braids with the client's natural color. As you can see, she has basically a shade of a number 2 and number 4 going on, very dark brown hair color, but we're going to use purple and red to cover that, and you won't see any of her natural hair basically coming out of that. Okay, so braiders' rights and laws. Do you know your rights as a professional braider in Florida? So as of 2020, the state of Florida no longer requires you to have a license in order to braid hair. How many of you guys knew that? So almost everybody knew that. How many of you guys didn't know that? So some of you still thought you had to go to school or natural hair care licensing. Okay, so as of 2020, not just in Florida, but many other states, about 30 other states, they actually no longer require you to have a license. Meaning if you previously had a license before, it's basically now null and void. This is actually due to the Opportunity and Freedom Act, which Governor DeSantis, he signed the Opportunity and Freedom Act for people to have less restrictions on being able to make a living for themselves. So these are the states where you no longer require licensure. If your state is not up there, then you're safe. You can still go to school and get fully licensed. If you are in these states, if you did get a license, a natural hair care license is null and void. If you do not have a license, that's okay. You can still braid professionally. So what does that mean for braiders today? If you live in any of the states listed, though you may not need a license to become a pro braider, these are the new strict rules to follow. So due to the fact that you no longer need a license to braid hair, as a professional braider, there's a very thin line on what you can and cannot do. So those who are calling themselves pro braiders, who want to get DBAs, LLCs, collect money, right? Go on Instagram and promote themselves like a full business, right? If you're doing all of that, you have to stick to these rules, which is braiders who are unlicensed, they can do braids and twists, they can do wigs and sewings, they can do crochet styles, natural locks, faux locks, braids and twists with extensions, but they cannot do shampoo and conditioning, haircuts, apply heat to hair, or chemically treat hair. Okay? Even in natural hair care school, when they taught you in the school curriculum, they did not allow you to shampoo, treat, or do any of those things to hair because you are not well educated on what to do when the hair is in that state, on how to get the hair in that state without causing too much damage or reverting it back to its full integrity. Cosmetology school teaches you all of that. Natural hair care does not. When you don't go to school, now that you don't need a license, you will not get that education. YouTube, I don't care how much videos you watch, I don't care how many licensed professionals you follow, you will not get that education because you have to go to cosmetology school. So obviously, there's a disconnection for braiders, whether they did have the option to get a license or not, they're not able to offer these services. The thing that really, I feel like, does a disservice for braiders is the shampoo and conditioning and being able to apply heat to hair and also to treat the hair. If we're doing protective styling, we want to be able to protect the hair all around. But there's a disconnection. So, like I said, the Opportunity and Freedom Act, you can actually pull that up online. Google it, you'll be able to see it pulled up. It'll show you that it says it removes registration requirements and licensure requirements for hair braiding, hair wrapping, and body wrapping by the department, okay? It also says, okay, also properly licensed individuals may offer hair shampooing, hair cutting, hair arranging, nail polish removal, nail filing, nail buffing, and nail cleansing. Meaning you have to be properly licensed if you want to apply heat, color, water, or any other sort to hair. If you're a braider who is unlicensed, whether you have your natural hair care license or not, you cannot do the cutting, the coloring, the chemicals. You gotta stay away. Strictly braiding. That's all you do. So, pro braiders in Florida no longer require licensure, but that does not mean braiders should not seek out continuing education. Because I've noticed that now, ever since this law happened 2 years ago, there's so many braiders out here who've been doing it for so long, so they think that's enough to justify them to teach others. So they start making hands-on classes. Little do they know they're not teaching the foundation, such as pH levels of the hair, scalp conditions, hair textures, hair types, how to keep implements clean when in between clients. They're not teaching them the proper sanitation and safety laws in Florida. So people are just charging just to give skills, create more braiders who are giving us more of a bad rep because they're not really getting the proper foundation they need in order for them to have happy clients, flourishing businesses, sustainable businesses. Now, the benefits of continuing education. You get to learn something new. You increase your income when you learn something new, okay? So today, the girls just watched me. I have a few of my assistants with me, and I was purchasing. I just learned about, not just learned, but I've been stalking Design Essentials brand, and I recently took off silk press services off of my menu because the products I was using at the time was not giving the silk press as sleek as I wanted it to be. But I heard about Design Essentials line. So I hadn't had the chance to really go out and seek it, but I did see their table today. And I was able to do the math where if their 4-piece set for the silk press line is on sale for $25, and my basic hair service for silk presses, the least expensive, starts at $150. If I get a client to come in for that $150 silk press and spend it on this $25 silk press set that I educated myself on, learned about, and truly understood about what's going on with the ingredients and what it can provide for me, that $25 with my first client, I'm able to make that 5 times back because I knew what I was doing. I learned something new. I learned through a new company, and I'm also able to do that to my clients so I can make more money. You can add new services. I took down my silk press service, and now I'm putting it back up because I have the products and I'm going to need to give me the best service that I need. It helps you give yourself a promotion. The more you learn, the more you earn. So I was stuck doing twists and braids just with natural hair. Over time, I learned how to do it with extensions, and now I have base prices that start at $300. If I didn't learn something new, I would not have been able to charge more. I would not have been able to stay in this industry and grow in this industry as long as I have. You get to keep evolving with the trends. As you can see, it's obvious on Instagram, there's a new style every day, okay? And being in this industry, you gotta keep up with these styles every day. So doing so helps you keep up with these styles when you're learning something new. You also get to keep you and your clients safe because the laws are always changing. The health and safety regulations are always changing. Things are constantly being changed every year. Like recently with COVID just happening, we have new regulations where people can't be too close to each other. Or you have to have people wait in their cars and not in their salon before they come to you, during the service while waiting. What type of education do braiders need? So braiders need to know their rights and their laws because apparently a lot of people don't. And this can cause you to either still get fined, get a bad rap, cause something bad to happen to your clients. And little do you know, there's clients out there who will sue you. And suing you when it comes to stuff like this can cause you to not be able to get a license in the future in the state of Florida. Most people don't know that. They're like, they can mess somebody's hair up, get a civil lawsuit, and call it a day, get on a payment arrangement. That's not how it works. It's not just that. That also affects you from getting a license moving forward in Florida, okay? Infection control. Cosmetology school teaches this. Braiders don't get this information because they don't want to get this information. They think because they work with their hands, that's all they need, and that's not how it works. Especially in America, everything needs a system. Your clients come first. In order for them to come first, the foundation has to go with that. So that also includes hair types and textures, knowing the different scalp conditions and disorders. I have people who still think dandruff and dry scalp are still the same scalp condition when it's not, right? We also have to learn new and trending techniques. You got butterfly locks, distress locks, you got braids, all types of stuff just coming out nowadays. So you gotta stay up to date. And when you stay up to date, you make more money, okay? and it also helps you become self-employed, right? So, it is your responsibility to get educated, right? You need continuing education, you need cosmetology school or barber school. There's certification programs, there's shampoo licenses. They don't offer that in Florida, but they do offer that in other states. There's hands-on classes and workshops everywhere now. And there's also webinars, ebooks, virtual classes, podcasts. There's no reason why you shouldn't be constantly learning. Every day you should be learning because you're constantly teaching your clients. Whenever you have a new client, old client, doesn't matter. Every service you have with them is an opportunity for you to teach them about the hair, how to take care of it, about your product, about your services. So doing this is going to help you expand even more. Let's go. The Occupational Freedom and Opportunity Act also reduces the number of training hours required to be eligible for a barber licensure from 1,200 to 900 hours. Okay, so the original hours that was needed for barber school was about 1 year, just like cosmetology school. But this year, it's now down to 900, and it specifies that the 900 hours must be in sanitation, safety, laws, and rules, which is what you're going to get in school and in school only. So what does that mean for braiders who have a natural hair care license? Natural hair care licenses are now null and void. Braiders feel less inclined to get educated. There is a disconnection to be able to shampoo or provide hair treatment services. They must spend a year in school to learn techniques that you will not use. Everybody can say that. Nobody probably uses scissors. I know for me personally, I went to cosmetology school. I went for a whole entire year, and you could say maybe 3 months out of the entire 9-month curriculum I used in school on a day-to-day, every single day of my life afterwards. So people basically feel like they're wasting time spending that whole year in school just to learn 2 months to 3 months worth of things that they're going to be using for the rest of their life. And there has been no true inclusion and regulation for braiders, which is why braiders have a bad reputation. So they call us mean, they call us ghetto, they call us unprepared, or stuff like that, because we don't have a foundation. And the foundation they've given us, which is through cosmetology school, is still giving us a disconnection. You had to go for a whole year long to go to cosmetology school and not learn how to braid. Or you go to natural hair care licensing school, but now only certain states actually provide that. So it's a little difficult and a little tricky, which is why I tell people to not only just go out and get education, because education is everywhere, but do your best to go get the strong foundation in cosmetology school. But I also feel that working with cosmetology schools, or the cosmetology board for the past few years, has reinforced the disconnection, as you can see. So instead of turning to the cosmetology school, I figured that it would be smarter for people like us who are braiding, people who know what we go through, who are in this every day, to stand up for ourselves and advocate for what we do, instead of turning to a whole board that's probably ran by men who don't know what we go through, what we experience, and we need to separate ourselves from the cosmetology board to be able to create our own way of regulation, our own way of being able to accreditate ourselves and accreditate future braiding schools, because right now that's the next wave. People are doing hands-on classes because they don't need licenses anymore. So they feel like they can go ahead and just open a school, open a class, set up their own curriculum. It doesn't work like that. Because once again, without the foundation, without the regulation, we're still going to get a bad rep. Everybody's going to learn different things, do different things, creating all sort of different types of damage. So this is a petition here. You guys can use a QR code there. This is basically just a petition for braiders to come together to be able to create our own Braiders Board Association where we regulate ourselves. We don't want to change any more laws. Leave the laws where they are. We just need our own organization to turn to, as far as where we can find a directory for professional braiders, where we can get accreditation, where we can get regulation, understand health and safety requirements for our state. We need to regulate ourselves. Us who look like us need to stand up for ourselves. And if we don't, we will not be able to make a living for ourselves as braiders. Because listen, there is so much money in being a braider. I fucking love it, okay? There's so much money. There's so much money, more money to get. So I feel like with the proper foundation, it's going to be much easier for anybody to truly respect us, respect our work, want to pay us, and will also want to be more happier showing up for our clients every day. Okay, so to learn more online, in this QR code, you can visit my online course library. This course teaches you about the Florida business and braiding laws. It really goes in depth about everything. For those who don't know what to do and what not to do as a pro braider, it's completely free. It's at my website, djstylesmiami.com, or you can use the QR code to basically download. But it's free. This is for those, you can send it to your friends, send it to people you know, your teens, your kids, those who you know are willing to braid and become braiders, because like I said, if they don't know their laws, they won't know where they stand, and not knowing where you stand does not give you a foundation. You cannot build anything without a foundation. You gotta know your laws, you gotta know your rights, you gotta know what your state requires of you, so you can be the best that you can be for your clients, okay? Staying in the dark and just trying to hustle, that's not okay. Because you're gonna wind up being 60 still hustling, and mad as hell that your retirement's not in order, that you didn't grow your business any bigger, that you didn't decide to open up that school to teach others so you can support yourself. Don't get stuck in that small mindset. Learn about what you do and what is required of you in this state. Also, you can learn about the 5 keys to legalize and establish your braiding business. That is up for free as well on my website. Once you use the QR code, you'll have access to all my online courses. Also, infection control. This is for people who do not want to go to cosmetology school, but want to know about the health and safety requirements by the state of Florida, as far as sanitation, scalp condition, different hair types and textures, scalp conditions, diseases, disorders. All of that is in that course, so you can also get that there through the online course library. Okay, the fun stuff. How to price yourself. Okay. Now, first, let's talk about inflation. Okay. Now I know y'all have seen since the pandemic in 2020, the cost of living has quadrupled, leaving the beauty industry at its mercy to dramatically increase in prices for hair products and hair services, right? I mean, who always felt before 2022 that when they go to the hair store, when they go to the beauty store, when they go to the makeup store, they were supposed to spend like $50 and wound up spending double? Or more, right? That's everybody. That's everybody. Y'all like, I know that's every single one of you. Okay? So now in 2022, it's much more. You can feel it more. That same $50 is now spent about $200-300 in the store, especially in the beauty industry, because they're always hitting us first. As you can see, from 2018 to 2020, we were steady. 2020, there was a small little spike. We were steady, and then once 22 hit, that was it. 4 times the price for anything and everything, from gas to rental, from cars to where you stay, food, everything. So what does that mean for the braiding industry? That means increased prices for hair products, supplies, and tools, higher wages to close the financial gap, smaller profit margins, okay? Higher fuel costs for mobile stylists, higher rent, and higher middleman fees. Like, I know you guys probably have those booking sites or websites where you have to pay for a subscription. And that's, I know like maybe last year it was $10, all of a sudden this year they're gonna raise it $5 more. Even Netflix is raising every month. I peep the little pennies, okay? So everybody's raising their prices. You have to do the same. You have to do the same. You have to do the same. Like, you can't even, it's not about your feelings, how you feel about it. It's not about your friends. It's not about looking out for your auntie. You have to raise your prices. I don't care how much you work. You probably could be expensive right now. I don't even know. When you leave today, raise them up again. Okay? There we go. When pricing yourself, you have to answer these 6 key questions. 1, how much are your braiding business expenses, right? For me, I just get braiding hair, gels here and there, some combs, and I know how much it lasts me, right? How much does your personal lifestyle cost? Everybody misses this one. Everybody misses this one. People want to just start saying, oh, if I do this much and I do this much, I'm going to have this much. But you have $4,000 worth of personal bills at the end of the month. If you're looking out for homie, if you're throwing out these sales all the time and you're not gauging the prices, you're going to make that $2,000 goal that you want to make so bad, but you have $4,000 worth of personal expenses at the end of the month. So where's that other $2,000 coming from, right? So you have to know how much your personal lifestyle costs. I already know off the top of my head, even with fluctuating expenses, cancellations, new subscriptions, I always stay at the $4,500. That's just personal expenses. That's not counting business, rent, travel, gas, okay? All that stuff matters. How long does it take you to style each client? This is also a very important question. A lot of people think that, oh, if I just charge this much an hour, or if I have a 6-hour service and I charge it this much, I'm gonna make this much. A lot of the time we're shooting ourselves in the foot because we'll be wound up stuck in the salon for about 12 hours at a time, making $200, $100, $300. You can make double that in half that time if you know how to decrease your styling time, right? Number 4, how much was your previous wage? Like I was telling you, and number 2, how much does your personal lifestyle cost? When it comes to your previous wage, if you were working at that previous job or that current job that you're at, that job you were working at, that wage they were paying you, clearly you stayed at that job because they were already paying the bills, right? So that means that that $15 an hour at that job was already paying the bills, and you want to quit and you want to do braiding full time, you gotta start yourself at $15 an hour. And that's not including the extra stuff that's gotta go on in there. So your base rate has to start at 15, okay? Especially if you feel like you're good at what you do, you've been doing it for a minute, you got people blowing up your phone, start at that 15, 16, 17, if you can. Give yourself a $2 raise, but that's where you're gonna start. Because if you start any lower than that, how are you gonna pay your bills? Okay? A lot of us are waiting for a check every 2 weeks, barely making $1,000. When you're doing hair, you can make that in 2-3 days. Depending, you can do that in 1 day, okay? If you do it the right way, okay? How much have you invested in your skills? When you earn more, and you can do more, okay? I have like a huge library full of, I spent probably like $1 million worth of education. Like I don't play about education. So me learning so much, I'm able to not only educate my clients, educate myself, I'm able to make more money because I know more things. I can add new things. I can separate myself from the average person who's following the same thing on social media, who's following the same thing on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, because I'm actually getting the foundation of education. So I can outsource that in many different ways, through classes, through online courses, through my clients, through myself, through products. There's so many different ways. When you learn more, you earn more. And where would you want your business to be in 5 years? A lot of people don't ask themselves this because the money be so good in their hand when they get it. And I understand, because this is why I got in this business to begin with, right? When it comes to your business and you're making that money instantly in your hand and it's fast cash, you're basically a drug dealer. You're basically a stripper, okay? You're making all this money in your hand, you're so excited, it's a lot of money, you realize you got bills, you got debt, you got things to get. You're like, let me go get this and spend it. I'm gonna make it again tomorrow, right? 5 years go by and you're doing the same thing and your financial habits have gotten much, much more worse because you're already counting next week's money. 2 weeks, the money from 2 weeks from now. And clients can book on you, they can reschedule on you. And a lot of the time people get upset over cancellations because they're counting next week's money, because their financial habits are not in order, right? So if you're not pre-planning, okay, do I see myself still doing hair behind the chair in 5 years? For me, I don't. You ain't gonna catch me doing hair at 40. You ain't gonna catch me doing hair at 50. You ain't gonna catch me doing hair at 60. I'm 27. I'm not gonna be doing this to pay my bills. I'm gonna do this because I love it. I'm gonna do this because I want to, but I'm not gonna do it because I have to pay my bills. I have to make ends meet. If I don't show up, everything will fall apart. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta think about, do you want a school? Do you want a salon? Do you want a salon suite? Do you want to create products? Do you want to, there's so many different avenues that you can take this. You gotta know what you want so that you can position yourself now to get there. Because where I wanted to go, I can't go right now. I gotta clean up a whole bunch of mess that I've made these past couple years because I did not prioritize the outlook for myself. But now that I am, best believe within 5 years, it's gonna be a different situation. So please take advantage of that, because that will teach you where you want to start pricing your clients and where you plan on giving your upcharges and all that good stuff. Okay, so monthly braiding expenses, you have salon or booth rent, you got salon utilities, you got hair tools, supplies, comb, hair clips, bands, and hair beads, hair products, travel, systems and software, and braiding hair. Once again, braiding hair by Supreme US. The cost of your lifestyle, you gotta add this up. So when I'm putting this up, this is stuff that you wanna take into accountability so you can figure out your prices. Okay, if you guys are confused on how to price your prices, you feel like you're still being cheated, you feel like you're charging too much, you need to help your friend with them charging their clients, pay attention, okay? Home, rent, mortgage. That's important when it comes to your lifestyle. You gotta write that down. The cost of your car note or car insurance if you have one. You gotta write that down. Your personal utilities, home cable, Wi-Fi, meals, memberships, subscriptions, and you guys need to go through your bank statements for the previous 3 months. Not 1 month, not 2 weeks, 3 months. 3 to 6 months will tell you your habits. It will show you what you're in, what you're enrolled in, and what you're not truly enrolled in. Personal self-care and children's expenses if you have kids. I have a 9-year-old. They do not get cheaper. Why do they keep growing so fast? They do not get cheaper. So, average time per service, right? Knowing how much time you spend to style each of your clients is crucial to increasing your income. Not doing so can leave you feeling underpaid and overworked. The average time per service. So, services. The average time per service for knotless braids is usually 3 to 6 hours depending on the sizes and your experience. Stitch braids, 2 to 4 hours. Box braids, 3 to 6 hours. Faux locks, 4 to 8 hours. Lockery twist and style, 1 to 3 hours. And it's all depending on the sizes and your experience, of course. So, the first thing you want to do is figure out how you can decrease your service time. Because the more you decrease the time, the more money you can make. Use tools and products that help you work more efficiently. There's a whole lot of tools out there, electronic, new stuff that's coming out, and they're expensive. $200-300 a piece here, $5,000 a piece there. And a lot of us can be reluctant, from buying it because we're like, that's a lot of front end money on the front end coming out, and you're not really sure to see how to get that money back from making that payment. For me, how I see it is, if I have a basic blow dryer that I know is going to take me about an hour to blow dry hair, and there's a $300 blow dryer, I can get the person out within 15-20 minutes, I'm going to spend that $300 on that expensive blow dryer versus that $50 on that one blow dryer, because I can get more clients in and out, meaning I have more people paying for more blow dries to cover that $300 expense within a month, if that's even less, right? So you guys are focused on the front end of the price for the $50, when really you're saving money just to shoot yourself in the foot, moving forward. Buy those expensive tools. Buy the high-end, high-quality products. They will move you faster. They will give you better results. Trust me, it's called making an investment. If you don't invest in yourself, you won't be able to invest in your clients. So, show up and prep the hair an hour before the client's arrival. People like to do this at the last minute. Please do not, because you're giving your client an extra hour of time that they do not need to be in that chair. If you do not provide hair for your braiding services, you can actually have your clients either drop it off to you the day before, so you can have it pre-separated if you're doing all this braids to save you 30 minutes to an hour. You don't notice it now, but when you actually do it, you're like, oh shit, I'm out of here very fast. And also, when you take the time to spread it all over, so there's certain braiding racks that will have 60 spools on them, and that 60 spools don't do nothing, okay? I need at least 240, 4 of those, to actually get the whole head done, no matter the size, no matter the colors, no matter the length. So, first thing I'm gonna do is, instead of getting me one that has 60 of these, to keep refilling it, and spending that 20 minutes refilling it, I can get that 20 minutes back 4 times, which equals about an hour, and I can just get me a tall rack that has 240. Or get 2 racks that have enough on it to equal 240, and then fill them all up before the client gets here, and I'm just putting them in and getting them out, okay? Preparation is always key. Master one braiding technique at a time. Stop trying to learn everything all together because you're not going to get it. Okay? This is coming from me, queen of trying to juggle anything and everything. It's not going to work. If you want to learn knotless braids, learn it. 2 months, 3 months. Learn anything and everything about knotless braids. Go to 3 different teachers. Go on webinars. Buy courses. Hands-on. Go to seminars. Knotless braids all the way for 2-3 months. Practice on as many clients as you can. Throw sales so they can come in for those knotless sales deals. And you'll get more experience. And within that 2-3 months, you're going to notice your change. You're going to notice who mastered it. And then you can move on to the next thing. Faux locks. I understand you want to make all the money, but the money ain't going nowhere. Okay? It's here. Take your time. Master one thing 2 to 3 months at a time. By the end of the year, you're going to realize, oh, wow, my portfolio has changed, and I'm making double the income. And that's the goal every year. You need to double your income every year. If you're making 30 this year, next year should be 60. The year after that should be 120. You're in hair. You're in beauty. We quadruple easy. The only reason why you're not making that money is because you're not positioning yourself and you don't know where you stand right now and where you're trying to go. Okay? Braiding is not just hustling. If you put the business behind it, you're going to make fantastic income. Okay? Charge more for completing the service in less time. I do this. So when I was doing faux locks in the beginning, about 3 years ago when I first learned how to do that, it used to take me all day. 8 to 10 hours. I used to charge maybe 150 to 200 because I was learning it. Now that I do it in 6 hours or less, and sometimes I get them out in 4 hours, I'm charging at least 300. Right now they're starting at 400. But I'm charging at least 300. Why? Because it's for convenience. You can come to me and get right out. You got a whole look. Right? So you need to be charging them. That's Now, your previous wage, how much were you paid at your last job? This amount would be where you want to start when deciding what to pay yourself hourly as a braider. This method is great for beginner braiders to avoid cheating themselves when working for themselves. How much money have you invested in your skills? We got cosmetology school, that's $20,000. I'm already adding like $2, $3 per service just for that. Y'all paying that debt back. I ain't paying it. But y'all paying it, right? Certification programs. That costs. Classes range from like $50 to $500,000, depending on who you go to for mentorship. And that matters. You got to put that in there. If you didn't learn this new skill, if you didn't learn about this new service, if you didn't learn about this new product, you wouldn't have been able to help your client in the way that you did. So they got to pay for that. That's the whole point. They don't want to take the time to learn about their hair, about what habits they have that makes their hair the way it is, which is why they choose you to do that. It's your job to go get educated and your job to keep raising those prices and them to continue feeling comfortable with paying you because you know your stuff. Not because you're charging because you have to make ends meet. Make it match. If you're raising your prices, build equity in your salon. Build equity in your workspace. Make it look more comfortable. Build. If you're going to be charging more money, use higher end quality products and tools. Give better services, massages, aromatherapy, stuff like that. If you're going to charge more, don't just charge more because you got to pay the bills. They can always find somebody else who gives them way better experience for less, if not at the same price. So, education really sets you apart. Online classes and training, hands-on training, workshops, mentorship, coaching, even me, you can find it anywhere. You don't even have to come to me. There's so many people out here right now who are educating. Get as much education as you can. Knowledge is power, okay? Where do you see your business in 5 years? Does your braiding business have a growth plan? Do you plan to renovate, build equity in your workspace? So for me, all I did was, I swear, my salon suite was looking busted, right? And it was like, I don't have that girly kind of, it takes a lot. Like I gotta copy somebody else's look in order for me to be girly. So it took a lot for me to figure out what am I gonna do with this space. But I'm like, I need to make it look better so people can want to spend money, want to come here, feel more comfortable. So I decided, let me put butterflies everywhere. So I went ahead and put butterflies everywhere with my logo colors. I got a bright, beautiful, purple, comfortable chair. Spent $300-400 on a chair, okay? The most I've ever spent on a chair. And that's been paid back for 10 times over already, okay? So me spending $300 on that chair, everyone loves the chair. I love the chair. $10 on the butterfly stickers, okay? maybe $50 on the TV, $50 to get up, that's like what, $500 there? And now because of that, I have double the traffic coming in every week. It's to the point where I can't work a full week. I only work 3 days a week. I can't work a full week because it gets crazy. So me building the equity makes people want to come. Just doing that. It's just like your home, right? When you buy a $500,000 home, you want to change the kitchen up, you spend $50,000 on it. Now all of a sudden the house is worth $750,000. Little small investments like that can get you so far. You don't even know. And people love it. Every time they come in, they're fascinated. They call other people, they're videoing. You're like, oh my God, look at the butterflies. You want that. You want people to rave about you. You want people to stay in the chair. Do you see yourself opening 1 or more locations? Do you see yourself hiring employees? Do you see yourself including retail? Do you plan to sell your business? These matter. So let's do the math. If the total cost of business expenses, I'm just throwing numbers out there, is $2,000 a month, your personal lifestyle is $2,500 a month, continuing education was about $1,500 a month when you go ahead and divide it by 12, that's with cosmetology school. The growth plan, which would be your savings, that's $417 a month, right? So you're totaling at, you need to make $6,417 in order for you to pay back the business expenses, live comfortably, and be able to plan your business to grow, to make more moves, invest back into the business, all that, right? So, if $6,417 by 4 weeks is $1,600 roughly per week, that means if you have a 5-day work week, you gotta make $320 per day, right? If you have a 4-day work week, you have to make $400 a day. 3-day work week, $534, 2-day, $800 at least. This is your base, how much you should be bringing in income, right? So if you realize, all right, I work about 4 days a week, I need to make at least $400 a day. The first thing you need to figure out is, 1, which services are your most expensive services that you can promote, because the only services you should be promoting on Instagram is your most expensive services. If you can see, I only promote locks because I do starter instant locks, most expensive service, and knotless braids, most expensive service. I do everything else, but that's what I'm promoting, okay? Because that's the money you need to keep coming in. So you need to figure out which services are your most expensive services and the most expensive services that can get you out in a timely fashion. You do not want to be in that salon for no more than 8 hours. I have officially mastered getting out the salon every day this year before 9 p.m. Praise God. Okay? And it's hard as a waiter. So you really got to take advantage of using the tools, buying the products that decreases that time. Yes, it costs money up front, but I promise it not only does it pay itself back over time with your clientele, the clients are going to bring you more people because they notice the difference and the improvement in your services. That's all. When your clients, listen, when the clients see you make mistakes and they see you actually willing to improve on them, oh, they fuck with you. They don't go nowhere. They're more transparent with you, they trust you more, and they believe in you more because they see that, yeah, you're going to make mistakes, you're human, but you're willing to fix them. And that's who they want on their team. No one's a know-it-all. You won't know everything. I don't know everything, okay? I'm still learning. So definitely take advantage of figuring out which service is your most expensive, that you can get people out in 8 hours or less. And if you have a service that's most expensive that you like, that you can't get them out in 8 hours or less, find a way to decrease that time. Find a way, okay? Get the extra braiding racks, get the better tools, the better products, do what you gotta do. For me, I work 3 days a week, so I'd have to bring in $500 per day. Piece of cake, 1 knotless braids, and a shampoo. So y'all can do that, okay? And if you go to school, also, as a cosmetology licensed person, when you learn about shampooing and conditioning, oh my God, there's a whole other world of extra money that you can make easy, from treatments to scalp treatments. Right now I offer scalp detoxes for people who have dandruff and dry scalp issues. They're in love with it, okay? And whenever they order a service, when they add a shampoo, that's an extra 50. When they add a treatment, that's an extra 50. And that's just base, because I have Olaplex treatments, scalp detox, a whole bunch of other things. So that little $400 service just turned into $500, $600 easy, because I'm offering more services. Because I know more, I can do more. According to Indeed and ZipRecruiter, the Florida's average base salary is $17 an hour. In Miami, where I am from, it starts at about $29 an hour. I get paid roughly $40 to $50 an hour, depending on the style, depending on all that good stuff. You don't want to give yourself a base rate. These are starting rates. This is not a base rate. This is not what you run with. This is where you start. Because everybody's lifestyle is different. You may have $2,000 worth of bills. You may have $5,000 worth of bills. You may have $7,000. You may have only $500 if you live with your mama. You don't know the situation. So you have to tidy up your lifestyle, and then you charge according to that. Not just your lifestyle, but your growth lifestyle, where you plan on seeing yourself in the next 5 years. Do you plan on still staying with your mom? Do you plan on moving to your own apartment? Do you plan on moving into a house? Do you plan on getting into real estate? There's so much you can do, y'all. I'm not even gonna talk about real estate, but we'll get there. We'll get there. So, beginner, $17 an hour. Oh, speaking of real estate also, and building equity. So my salon suite, I built equity in it. Not only do my clients love it, they invite more clients, they want to stay, I'm able to rent it out. I work 3 days a week. The other 4 days where there's no money being made and it's empty, I rent it out to other braiders, other stylists, other people who do silk presses, full lawns, other industry people. They come, they pay that money, they use my tools, whatever, in and out. Lock them in, I get them in and I lock them out, done. That's extra money without me doing anything. Sitting on my butt, money just coming in. Why? Because I made my salon look pretty. And they like it. That's it. Just small little investments like that. When you put money in the front end, you get more money over time back. So $17 an hour. Thank you. Okay, so $17 an hour. That's going to be your base rate because that's how much the wage is starting in Florida. And then you have your expense. Now, if you have a job, you start there. If it's more than the braider amount, so let's say you have a job that's paying you $20 an hour, start at $20. Okay? If you have a job that's paying you less than $17 an hour, start at $17. Okay? This is where we start. This is not it. This is not where we end. So you gotta think about the hair supplies, $25. You gotta think about the rent, $20. You gotta think about the meals, $20. You gotta think about the travel, $20. And I charge this per client. Okay? So I'll take, let's say, my rent, that's about $1,500 a month. I divide that by how many clients are going to be coming in that week, and then how much it would have to cost per person if I were to divide it out. That gives me a better range of me covering all my expenses and also still having money for myself in my pocket. So when you tally the beginner side, the $17 an hour, you can use all of these together. It comes up to $187, and it's a 6-hour service. Okay, so let's think a 6-hour service would cost about $187. Okay, that's where you start. That's where you start. Because there's other things you have to pile on there as far as your expenses and your personal lifestyle and where you're trying to go. So that's just the base. For experienced people who start at 29, and you add the same expenses, it comes up to $259 for that 6-hour service. If you get what I'm saying. So when I went back and told you guys we had to make how much per day? At least $300 per day for a 5-day work week to get that $1,600 in. If you make double that, you can work 4. If you make double that, you can work 3. You make more money, you decrease the service times, and you'll be able to make, let me go back, that's $1,600 per week, okay? So pay attention, $17 an hour is your base rate for beginners. You add the expenses so that the customers cover that, and it's gonna be $187 for your 6-hour service, okay? That's starting. Why you should use this method? Because it ensures that you pay yourself first, helps you offset the cost of business expenses and fees, decreases your chances of being overworked and underpaid, keep up with your competitive wage gaps, easy formula that you can customize. You can customize that yourself. You can use that formula to basically lead you to your price. Because that's not supposed to give you a set price. Everybody's lifestyle is different. Everybody's bills fluctuate. So you have to know what your lifestyle needs, what your lifestyle is, to be able to charge according to that. But that was just a rough draft on what it would normally cost. To learn more how to pay and price yourself Everything's available online through my online course library. Y'all can check that out. So protection for you and your clients, tax structures, and insurance. Why do braiders need protection? So it extends the longevity of the braiding business. It increases business income and productivity, prioritizes the safety of everyone involved, and the most important yet commonly forgotten ways of protecting your braiding business is through proper legalization and having insurance. Obtaining the proper tax structure and insurance can all be done online with same-day results, okay? Today, I'm going to show you how to do the knotless braids and cover natural hair. So ways to protect your braiding business. Tax structure. That's to file your taxes and to be able to report your income. EIN is to file taxes to hire employees to obtain business credit. The seller's permit and business tax receipt. That's your occupational license and to sell products and services. And your insurance, which is your compensation for loss, damage, injury, all that good stuff to protect your business. So, what's the tax structure? It's the form of your business that determines which income tax return form you have to file. This also helps you specify your business entity type as a DBA, LLC, or S Corp. I'm not going to get into this because I'm not a tax professional. I'm not a certified CPA, whatever. But I have had experience with all three of these tax structures. What I do want to tell you is that if you plan on wanting to get business credit and want to grow, but without having to worry about excess fees, do the DBA. Spend $50. You'll be able to get your business credit, your business bank account, you get all of the things. Okay. Now the only issue with the DBA is that your social SSN will be connected to everything in your business credit, but most of the time for new businesses as braiders, you'll need your social connected to it anyway to build that quick credit history. But over time, you'll be able to separate yourself, get trust, all that good stuff. That's further down the line. So DBAs and LLCs act as the same, but the LLCs are much more expensive, and the LLC separates you from your business. The DBA has you act as your business, sole proprietorship. The S Corp, I actually was able to be an LLC and file as an S Corp to get more tax breaks. Once again, I'm not a professional, so I can't really go in too deep about that. But if you do plan on getting your LLC, do not fall for the hype as far as wanting to just have the business name. You can own the business name by getting the DBA and paying that $50 and letting it last for 5 years. If you get that LLC, you'll spend about $200 on the first initial payment, and you'll be spending $100 every year. And if you're, that's more, it's like $138. And if you're late, like same day, like if it says May 1st, you gotta pay, and you're trying to pay it on May 1st, there's another $400 fee on top of that. So that's $538. That goes along with the other million things you got to remember as a businesswoman or businessman. So I highly suggest, if you're making less than $60,000 a year, and you ain't got a team to help you remember, hey, these are like, remember your quarterly payments to your taxes and all of that, don't do it. You're gonna do yourself a disservice. LLC, don't do it. It's more expensive. You'd rather have a team to help you remember to pay for it on time, keep up with it. The articles of corporation, all that good stuff. You want to have a team. I mean, you don't need a team to get an LLC. You can open it on your own, yourself, personally. You don't need a professional. It's really easy. But I'm saying long term, you're not trying to worry about paying that bill every year, because that year goes by like this. Okay, you're gonna blink and you're like, damn, I gotta pay $138. Yes. If you don't have a team, like I said, to assist you with your finances, as far as your accountant, a personal tax person who's always by your side, hands and feet, who can remind you about these things. If you don't have your alerts on point to remind you about these things, don't do it. If you don't have organization, don't do it. If you're still hustling and bustling, don't do that, and then you can go ahead and dissolve the LLC. Honestly, I believe that if you do not pay the for it, then dissolve it. If it doesn't, then that should keep your DBA, okay? And just know moving forward though, as your LLC, you will be able to use that same name that you had before. Okay.
But if they want that name, they can go back, let it dissolve.
Yeah, and then
go back and reinstate it.
That's
for
right.
100 and something odd dollars.
She's got it.
I would.
You have to do, thinking you hot and ready, right? And you were like, damn, wait.
For 2 years, and then I was watching like, they go, they go talk was like, so go back, $120 and reinstate it, and just keep your name. And I was like, okay, and then from there, I just made sure I put it in my phone, the alert me, boom, 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 boom.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Okay, quarterly with your taxes, like, oh my God. Okay. So if you want to set up your tax,
Did you pay the 400?
No, let it dissolve all the way. And then she said the next day, like after it's dissolved, you go on there, even at 12:05 that night, go back in and reinstate it. She said it doesn't leave any kind of negative,
That's important.
Yeah, I just did this last year, either last year or the year before like that. So, yeah.
so you'll be able to get all this information at sunbiz.org. Your tax structure must be formed prior to applying for an EIN number, so that to ensure that no other entity is using your business name, okay? So for those who are in the beginning stages of trying to legalize and structure everything, if you're wondering what's the first thing to get for your business, it would be either the DBA or the LLC. Like I said, if you're just starting out, stick with the DBA. You still get all the benefits of the LLC, except your business is still attached to you. And honestly, filing taxes is so much easier. So if you're not thinking about building a team, hiring people, or growing a school, having more than one location, don't rush into that. Make sure to check if your business name has been taken prior to registering it with the state, meaning you would want to go through sunbiz.org, type in that business name. For me, my name is DJ Styles. So I'm gonna go through Sunbiz, I'm gonna type that, see if any other business got it. If no other business has that name, I'm in the clear. Do the same for Google. Type your business name in, see what pops up, what websites pop up, what stores, even in other states, see what pops up to make sure that there's no confusion with your business name and to see if you can even still use it. Social media, same thing, you want to type it there, and you want to type it on namechecker.com. Namechecker.com is basically a hosted website. You type in the name, and it's going to show you everywhere where it pops up.
Okay, so I did that, and my business name is actually just spelled different.
You can still use it, even if now you're gonna worry about that during trademark though. When you have to trademark your name, because there may be other businesses out there that sound and look like yours, you may have to pay extra fees, or I'm not sure because I'm not a trademark
Yeah,
specialist.
was a furniture company.
They do completely different things. You can get away with it. There's so many businesses out there that have like the same names and do different things, so you should be able to get away with it. As long as they're not using your exact names, you're safe. What's an EIN number? So the EIN is an acronym for Employer Identification Number. This is a 9-digit number assigned by the IRS to business entities operating in the U.S. And EIN helps identify your business in the same way an SSN identifies a person. So why do Braids need an EIN? When Braids accept money in exchange for their services, they are considered an operating business. Okay? So I don't care if you came from Africa. I don't care if you're from Zimbabwe. I don't care if you're from Germany, because they do braids there too. I don't care where you're from. Even if you were born here. I don't care how long you've been braided. I'm Haitian. If you don't know how to braid in my family, something wrong with you. Okay? I don't care who you're surrounded by. I don't care how long you've been doing this for. I don't care how well you think you do this. I don't care how many people you taught. Okay? I don't care about any of that. If you are accepting money and using that to pay your bills, you're basically in business, okay? If you're accepting money for your services and you're using that to pay your bills, you're in business. So if you're in business, act like it. If you're in Florida, you have to get all your legalizations and requirements in order for you to become an operating business. Your EIN is the heart of all of that. The same way every person here needs a social security to be able to file for any loans, credit lines, anything really, so does your business. It needs its own EIN. The benefits of an EIN number. So it turns your hustle into a real business, okay? As of today, we're not hustling no more. We businesswomen, we businessmen, we're braiders, okay? Put some respect on our name, period. That's right. So we're going to turn your hustle into a real business because it makes you eligible for more things you can read than the average braider. It's free, and it's instant. You can file your business taxes. You get a business bank account. You can get your Duns and Bradstreet number, which helps you get the business credit. Loan approvals, and you get to hire your employees and your families if you need help in the business. And you can get all of this at irs.gov/businesses. But when you apply online for your EIN, when you apply for your EIN online, it's immediately provided to you after the application, and it's free, so you don't have to pay for anything.
Save that document because you can't get it again. You have to
Screenshot it.
yes.
You need that number.
Like literally write it down everywhere and also print it and also email it.
Also, if you do realize that when you get your EIN number and it's not attached to your stock, if you've attached your EIN number to your business name, like your DBA or your LLC, if it's attached together already, when you go to sunbiz.org, you type in your business name, you'll find all of that. So even if you were not able to get it on that day, as long as you did merge it with your business name already, you'll be able to find it and keep it for safekeeping. But that does happen. Like the first week or two, you're asked out because you didn't screenshot it.
So I should go. I'm not from New York, so I don't know how much different it is there.
Okay.
But I should go back home and get my DBA and apply for ID.
I would say, since these are two different states, you would probably have to do everything here. I don't know.
Well, no, I'm saying I'm going back home. I'm saying.
Oh, yes.
I came here.
Now, I can't speak for New York because I hate New York. I stay away. I'm sorry. Y'all just a real.
Are you hating New York? You talk about New York City. I'm from upstate New York. I'm from upstate New York.
You're right. You're right. But I don't know anything about New York. But yes, I would say get your EIN because I don't believe you can do anything without your tax structure and your EIN in place. EIN is the social security number. When you're filing for your business bank account or business credit, they need that number. Either you give them that number or your social security number, and you don't want to give them your social security number, okay?
So getting the DBA is not, that's not gonna give me that.
It is. You can still get that down and attach it to your DBA. So, business tax receipts. In Florida, you will need an occupational business license. This is called a business tax receipt. So much people don't know about this. If you provide goods and services to the public, whether you're operating your new business at home or in a salon location. So for me, for instance, I'm in salon suites. So it's a large building with plenty of other suite owners in there. For me, luckily, because it's a large commercial building that hosts many businesses, they already have the business tax receipt that they need. I don't need to have one personally because I work under them, although I am still independent. I pay my quarterly taxes, I do my yearly taxes, but they handle the business tax receipt taxes for their location. I don't have to do that. But if you're working on your own, you have to check with your landlord, see if they're paying their dues. Ask them these questions, because if they can't answer these questions, you should run. You need to go, for real, okay? Ask your landlord if that's your obligation or if that's their due diligence, who takes care of that. And if you're working at home, you have to do the same. It's inexpensive. You probably won't be spending no more than $70 a year, but you need to do this. This is letting you know you're paying your dues to be able to run any type of business in Florida. Business tax receipt. You will need an occupational license, which is that, to provide business and goods. You must pay a tax to operate any business within city limits. This is basically a proof of payment and is required before a business opens. So I gotta let you know, it's easy to get it through this website, but when you apply online, your LLC or DBA and EIN must be already established in order to do the business tax receipt, okay? Because you're gonna have to put this information in the application. So backdating may also cause you to have to pay back taxes. So let's say, for instance, for me, my LLC was created in 2020, right? If I did not create my business tax up until 2022, I'm liable to pay 2 years worth back taxes. So please be aware of that. Do that as soon as possible, okay? Because they're gonna come get you. They're gonna come. A seller's permit, you guys need a seller's permit. So who knows what a seller's permit is? wow, you guys are braiders, like, okay. So for us braiders, a lot of the times we miss out on providing retail or selling products because we're using our own products and we're using these gels and we have so much of them because we have so much clients coming in, but we never think about buying enough to sell to our clients as well. Did you know that with a seller's permit, which is free, I believe, when you get it online, you can actually use that to buy the things you're going to sell tax-free. So this whole time, y'all on Alibaba, whole time you're on Target, you stock it up, you paying them hefty taxes, and you didn't realize you can get a seller's permit to provide that receipt of sale. That hey, I'm a business, I have my number, my certificate number. This is how we're gonna do this. I can get these amount of products without taxes, okay, and vice versa. And also, there's also a wholesaler's permit, but we're not gonna get into that. But I recommend every braider get into this because once again, this is another way to make more money. If you think you're gonna be rich doing braids all day, think again, okay? Unless you're charging $1,000 per braid, and there's people out there who do that, okay? But unless you plan on getting yourself there, you're out of luck. Because what happens in the day when you can't do hair? Right? Those products won't back you up. My products won't back me up. My online course won't back me up. My old class replays, they won't back me up. If I can't show up, right? So you gotta think about that, because ain't nobody trying to braid all day, every day. Like, we love it, it's therapeutic, that's why we do it, but that's not supposed to be your safe plan. Why do braiders need a seller's permit? To report and track taxes made from products and services sold, avoid paying sales tax on your purchases to sale, free to register and obtain online the same day. You can get this here. I will be sending everybody a copy of this. Yes, I will. Absolutely. Licenses and certifications. As stated before, in order to legally operate as a business, you must have all your licenses and certifications in order. This prevents lawsuits, fines, or being thrown in jail due to fraudulent activity. Y'all don't hear about it, but it happens all the time. I have nothing but lawyers, teachers, people from the board who sit in my chair. Okay? It happens. It happens. It happens. Don't get caught up in it. As I stated, your operating license, you need your braiding license if you are in a state that provides that. Certifications for hands-on training, cosmetology or barber's licensure, and I also tell people if they want to get the education from cosmetology school without having to spend all that time in cosmetology school, go to barber school. It's half the time. You get all the education. You can do whatever you want once you get licensed, just like a cosmetologist. Shampoo, treatments, color, products, retail, real estate, whatever. You can do whatever. And it's in half the time. Shampoo licenses. They have these, but not in Florida. So if you live in a state that offers shampoo licensing, you go there to school for like 2 months, you get your shampoo license, boom, you can create more money for yourself just by having this service. Barbicide sanitation certification. Did you guys know you can get that for free online? Awesome. So please have that. If you don't, hang it up in front of the salon. Let your clients know that you can. Okay? And your LinkedIn certifications. Did anyone know that LinkedIn offers certifications? So I went to college for like 2 months, right? And then, so I went for a little bit, and they offered free access to LinkedIn certifications. So in that time, I was able to take marketing classes, business classes, coding classes, and got lots of certifications for them, and they were free. Okay. So if you can, look on LinkedIn. You can spend like probably $12, $15 a month, I think, or something like that, and you have access to all their classes and certifications. What is business insurance? Oh my God, this is my favorite. Business insurance covers and protects the business from losses due to events that may occur during the normal course of business. There are many different forms of insurance that you can purchase for your business. So why should braiders have insurance? To protect ourselves, to protect the clients in the braiding business, to get resources that keep the business running, helps you pay bills in unplanned instances, provides coverage when disasters happen, such as fires, floods, accidents, injuries. I remember 2 years ago, I used to work at Ulta Beauty, and one day I used to work 5 a.m. shifts. I got to work, and I noticed the whole backroom stock was flooded. And back home stock is where all the stuff is at, okay? Like, all the stuff. So everything from like 6 feet and below was damaged. You think they were stressing? No, they got insurance. They fine. They gotta put a claim in, wait probably a week, get their check and re-up, okay? For a small premium, every month. I know we're stuck in this, oh, I want to make the money. I don't want to spend the money. But just think, every time you spend the money, you're paying for security. You're paying for longevity. You're creating an investment to take you and your clients even further, okay? There's different types of insurance. You have home or renter's insurance, you have car insurance, disability insurance. Okay, so let me slow down. When I say home or renter's insurance, this is for people who are home-based, okay? It is legal to operate your braiding business at home, but you must have it sectioned off in a specific area so that clients will not be, all up in your privacy. You can look online to find further information about that, but there's a specific way your home has to be set up in order for you to do braiding at home. I've been a home braider for like 6 months prior to moving into my salon suite, so I was able to have it completely cut off, but within the kitchen, the restroom, you need that. You don't want the kids running around the house so people can see that. If you can get a divider, get that, okay? It's worth it. So if you're braiding at home, you need home or renter's insurance. If you're braiding in your apartment, get renter's insurance. Spend that $25, $30 extra a month. You're already spending it on BS, okay? Like you're getting 5 coffees for the week, you didn't even drink half of them. You just spend that 30 and get the home renter's insurance so in case anything happens, a client comes, is unhappy with something, they destroy something. Or you finish doing somebody's hair and you left something on like a fire and now everything is ruined. You have coverage. Okay? Car insurance. If you're a traveling braider, you better not be riding dirty. Okay? Nobody in here should be riding dirty. I've been a mobile braider to this day. I still travel to my clients. And when I first started out, I've been in so many, okay? And I don't know what I would have done if I didn't have car insurance to take care of my car, to give me the check that I needed to get a new car. I don't know what I would have done because my business would have stopped as soon as I stopped, okay? That's what insurance is for, to keep you going even when you personally cannot. Disability insurance. This is my favorite. No one knows about this. No one thinks about this until it's too late. We're braiders. We use our hands all day. We're standing on our feet all day. We're basically playing a sport, okay? You're using your body the entire day. What happens when you get into an accident or when your arm locks up on you? What you gonna do then? How you gonna pay hair? How you gonna pay your bills? That was one time I got into a car accident in September. I had to wear a cast, and I had to cancel on a few clients to let them know I couldn't come that week because my arm was working. I had 5 clients that week. Only one of them would not let me cancel because she took her hair out already. You know those clients who look at busted and they don't want to. So she's like, no, you're gonna come to my hair. She's like, you can take breaks in between. We're gonna figure it out. Now I did do the hair. I slayed the fuck out that sewing. Okay, I slayed that sewing with one hand. I did, but it made me realize: is this about to be my life? Am I about to quit my job to do this full time, for this to all be on me, and then when I can't work, I can't afford my bills? So spending $40 a month on disability insurance covers me for 2 years, short term. That's gonna cover me $5,500 a month in all my bills and expenses. I can be messed up, my leg don't work right now, I can't stand. Let me fill out a claim. I could have been paying for 6 months only. I could have been paying for 2 years, never used it. I could have been paying for just 2-3 months. I got a claim, they're gonna run me my check, and I'm gonna get taken care of for the next 2 years, and I can build a new plan to sustain myself versus being stressed while being hurt and having to work and pay the bills. Don't nobody wanna be in that energy, okay? You're not productive when you're stressed and depressed. And a lot of the time, incidents that we don't plan put us there. But because we're not, creating safety nets, we start hating ourselves, hating our situation, probably don't even want to braid ever again because we're like, braiding did this to me. No, you didn't secure yourself. Braiding is it can really build your lifestyle if you know how to position yourself the right way. So today, if you didn't take anything from me, take this, okay? Get you some disability insurance. Insure your hands, insure your feet. Spend that $20 to $100 every month. Whether you don't use it for another year or 2 or 3, you got something to secure you to pay these bills. I got a son. I can't stress about. I'm a single mother. I can't stress about, oh my God, where's my next check gonna come from? Oh my God, how many heads do I have to do this week? Oh my God, no. I'm filling out a claim. I need my check. Okay? Thank you. I paid on time every month. Yes. Thank you. I need my check. So y'all need to learn about disability. They have short term, which I believe is 2 years, and they have long term, which I believe is up to 4 years. You can go to any policy, like State Farm, Allstate, whoever you already currently insured with. You can ask them what their rates are. Do your research. Don't just start paying. Get the lowest premium that gives you the most benefits and the most perks. Shop around and then seal the deal. Okay? Like, if you plan on being a braider, insuring your hands is the best way to do it. Celebrities, insure their voice. Okay? You got massage therapists, they insure their hands. Okay? Because this is how you live it. Once you stop, you're going to go learn a new skill. So you're going to spend your whole life just learning without building any type of sustainability for yourself? No. So we get insurance around here, okay? Salon insurance. For me, because I'm in a salon suite, it's required for me to have insurance. Every single person in that suite needs to have their own insurance. They handle certain things, and each suite owner handles certain things on their own. Now, for me, my business insurance is through PBA, Professional Beauty Association. I spend only $100 a year. $100 a year. And I spoke to them. It covers fires. I believe it covers fire. It does not cover it covers fire, it covers water. It was something it didn't cover that I forgot to mention. But it covers everything but that one thing, and that one thing is an injury. That's what it is, injury to myself. So that's why you need to get disability insurance to cover that part. But the salon covers everything in the salon. So from your tools, your hair, the space, having to reimburse your landlord up to millions of dollars. If you're sued by your client, they cover that too. Okay? You gotta think about these things. So the more you learn, the more you earn, the more you start climbing up that executive ladder, you could say, the more serious shit get. And the more you realize, oh my God, my life is riding on this, I gotta make sure everything is actually set up in this foundation so I can keep going, right? So we have life and health insurance. That's off rip. If y'all ain't got life insurance, y'all playing. Okay, I already got a life insurance policy on my mama, my daddy, me, my son. I'm not about to play with none of y'all. All right, I'm getting me a check every time somebody falls and drops dead. All right, like the one thing that's inevitable in this life is death. So why are we not paying for it? My grandfather just turned 101 years old. Okay, he was born to turn 102, but when he turned 101 years old, he got a check because he didn't die. He got his whole life check. Yep, he got himself a nice little $10,000 check. He opened it when he was like in his 80s because he opens and closes and opens and closes. So, and he keeps outliving them. So he collects his checks. So whether you live or die, you get paid. Okay? So think about that. Seriously. All I spend is $90 in total with a bundle for my IRA along with my life insurance bundled together, and that's more than a $250,000 policy. So it's $300,000 policy, and I get $30,000 if my son dies. Easy. So if I'm dead, he's good. If I'm dead, my parents good. If I'm dead, my business can keep going. If I make plans for that, you know what I'm saying? Stop. Like, secure yourself, y'all. Don't be a stripper. Don't be a drug dealer. Make the money, keep the money, flip the money. You can flip it and flip it and flip it again. That's right. And Beauty Pro insurance, okay? You can also get that through PBA. You can look at their website. If you're a student, you can get rates starting much lower. If you're a business or salon, you can get it starting at $100. Same with if you're an independent contractor. Okay, so business credit, what is business credit? It's like personal credit, but for your business. Personal credit is regulated by 3 main bureaus, Equifax, Experian, TransUnion. Meanwhile, business credit is only regulated through the DNB, which is also known as Dun & Bradstreet. Without a Bradstreet number, without a Duns and Bradstreet number, you will not be eligible to establish business credit. So business credit is the business ability to buy something now and pay for it later. By establishing a good business credit rating, you make it easier to borrow money when your company needs it. This consists of obtaining a Duns and Bradstreet number, opening trade lines, establishing a PAYDEX, business Equifax score,